The new Lenovo Chromebook Duet 11-inch is finally here, and it comes with a new MediaTek Kompanio 838 processor inside that makes this Chromebook tablet super portable and versatile, ready for whatever you throw at it. And if you've been a fan of the Duet lineup since the beloved original was released back in 2020, you know that this Kompanio 838 marks the return of MediaTek to the Duet series. If you remember, the Duet 3 and the Duet 5 were both powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, but we now know that Qualcomm has canceled a handful of Snapdragon 7C Gen 3 powered devices that were previously in development, which leaves MediaTek to lead the way. But what does all this mean for the future of ARM computing on Chromebooks? Well, we sat down with Tyan from MediaTek to learn a little bit more about the Kompanio 838 processor that's powering the new Duet, and to learn about how they're working with Google and other Chromebook manufacturers to push the ARM market forward. So let's dive in. But before we get into it, a big thanks to MediaTek for sponsoring this video and making this interview possible. MediaTek is a leading provider of processors for Chromebooks, powering the brands you love like Lenovo, HP, Asus, Acer, and more. MediaTek's Kompanio series of processors brings enhanced performance, long-lasting battery life, and seamless multitasking to users for premium Chromebook experiences. Whether you're working, learning, gaming, MediaTek processors help make Chromebooks more efficient and reliable for all-day use. And as part of this sponsorship, we are giving away a brand new Lenovo Chromebook Duet 11-inch powered by the MediaTek Kompanio 838 to one lucky winner. So make sure to go get entered to win after you watch the video. You can find links in the description below to get entered into the giveaway and to learn more about MediaTek. Check 1, 2. So I think I'd like to start with just this new chip that we've got in the Lenovo Chromebook Duet 11-inch Gen 9, I think is the official title. But inside that device is a new MediaTek chip, the Kompanio 838. And so I think I'd like to just start there. Tell us a little bit about this chip.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Maybe a little bit of context before I jump into that. Again, MediaTek is focused on all the top OEMs. We work with Acer, Asus, HP, Lenovo to bring exciting Chromebooks to the market. We are ARM-based, like you said, so this technology has come a long way. Obviously has some very good benefits when it comes to power efficiency, which we heavily leverage. We're actually number one in the ARM-based computing space in the Chromebook program. So that is where we currently stand. And we have our Kompanio line of processors that I know, Joe, you're very familiar with. And the strategy is really kind of to have that good, better, best. So we're trying to cover all the segments. We have our entry series, that is the Kompanio 500 series. We have the Kompanio 800 series for the mid, and then Kompanio 1000 for the premium. And the Kompanio 838, like you said, is our latest member, so we're very excited to bring that into the portfolio, and it falls in that kind of mid-segment of processors. And the main benefits that it brings is really around three areas. Performance is one big one, multimedia is the other one, and of course that battery life is always there. So on the performance side of things, it's leveraging 6 nanometer TSMC technology, so very power efficient technology, very performant. We've also upped the architecture quite a bit here with, it's still an octa-core architecture, but it's a 2+6 configuration, 2 big cores, the Cortex A78s, which are very powerful and very helpful when it comes to running, more heavy loads. And then we have the 6 efficiency cores to make sure that we are in maintaining a very power efficient implementation. And if you look at, the Kompanio 520, which is a very famous kind of chipset in entry segments, and a lot of people know about it. We're talking about 57% higher single core performance, 31% higher multi-core performance, 102% higher GPU performance. So all around, it's really a step up from that entry segment product. And then when you look at the Duet, which is where that Kompanio 838 is currently powering, you see a 30% gen-on-gen improvement versus the previous generation of that Duet. So, either way you look at it, it's really a step up in terms of performance. And then on the multimedia side of things, it's lots of benefits there that we've introduced, including smartphone class cameras, an AI processing unit, an NPU, 4K display support. It's also been brought into this chipset, so you can also use it in a kind of desktop experience. And then, like I said, all this still happening within this amazing all-day battery life. So obviously, the 6 nanometer TSMC technology benefits a lot. The ARM technology benefits a lot. And then MediaTek has just been optimizing for portable experiences for decades. So we have a lot of in-house experience. We really know how to build these chipsets so that they're power efficient while still giving you all the performance that you need. So that's a little bit on the Kompanio 838. But yeah, very excited to be here talking to you about, powering the latest duet.
So you kind of hit on this a little bit, but will you kind of clarify exactly kind of where it falls in the lineup? So from a pure kind of benefits perspective, looking at the previous generation to what we're getting now, specifically just in the duet. So for somebody who had the original duet, what sort of things are they going to be able to do with this new chip that maybe they couldn't before?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, when you look at first of all, you're going to get a roughly 30% overall performance bump, previous gen to current gen. So you're going to experience just a lot more snappy experience. It's going to be that whole experience in terms of multitasking, running workloads that may be more demanding on device. Those are all going to be enhanced for sure. You're going to see some AI functionality being available on this device that again is new. For example, we have ported over an algorithm called super resolution. Super resolution is basically a function that can run very nicely on an NPU. So you're offloading your CPU and GPU, so you're running it very efficiently on that AI accelerator, and it's able to give you upscaling of low resolution images. So if you have an image that may not have the best sharpness and clarity, you apply this algorithm and there you go, it gets enhanced. And even with high resolution images, it's able to apply more clarity and more preciseness to the image. So these are some of the functions that you're going to see kind of coming about. Of course, in the camera space, there's some really good enhancements here, especially when it comes to low light noise reduction. So we've basically now utilized the 5 megapixel plus 8 megapixel front and back cameras that are on chip on the Kompanio 838. But in addition to that, MediaTek is applying algorithms to help improve the image when you're in low light conditions. So for example, if you're in a living room or maybe in a bedroom setting where the lighting is not optimal, that's really where these cameras really shine. And I've been using the device myself the last few weeks, and it's incredible when you compare it to the previous gen, the enhancements in those environments. So those are just some of the areas where you're going to see, improvement, just performance, AI functionality, camera functionality. These are, and in fact, Lenovo has done many more enhancements, for the device itself, and whether it's in the audio department, whether it's the keyboard and the privacy shutter, there's so many things that they've added to an already amazing device. I think the original Duet was awesome. It's gone through a couple of generations now, but it's just getting better and better, and just so much value packed into this device.
Yeah, the performance alone, being such a tab hoarder, I have at any given time 20 to 30 tabs open, and with the previous generations of the Duet, I would immediately start seeing maybe a little bit of, especially in multitasking, maybe a little bit of slowdown. But this thing is just powering through my workload, no problem. And then, I don't have as nice of an external display as Robbie has, but Robbie noted in his review, 120 hertz on his external display running perfectly. And he also noted in the review the cameras. I mean, this is a finally like very usable and functional video and photo use case on this Duet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joe, just to add on the 4K display, what I love about this device is, you got the 8 gigabyte option. So if you want to do more multitasking, you've got the extra headroom there. So that's a big advantage. I really think this is an excellent secondary device for people who are traveling, working in tight spaces, they just want that amazing portability. But what really impressed me is when I looked at how this device can actually run a full desktop experience. So if you connect this to an external 4K display with an external keyboard, you've got this small but very mighty device where you have all your information in one place, but powering a full desktop experience. And that's where I think the previous gen's duets probably didn't do so well in that area, but now you have it all pretty much. You have a tablet that is so powerful that can be used in full tablet mode, detachable mode if you're want to be portable but have the keyboard, and then when you get to your office, you dock that thing and there you go, you have that full-blown experience. I think for me that was very impressive, and so excited that we're actually there with detachables. I mean, I think they've gone a long way to get to this point.
So you mentioned some of the AI capabilities that are kind of built into this chip, and that was one thing that we noticed when the chip was first announced. We saw some of the neural core and some of the AI. I think you said AI accelerator. We were maybe wondering if this device was going to be Chromebook Plus. It's since been announced and released, and it is not Chromebook Plus, but it has some of these AI capabilities. So can you talk a little bit maybe about this chip in particular and some of those extra AI things that you all have done, and maybe some of that decision process to maybe not make this Chromebook Plus? And I know some of that is, to hit the spec requirements, but can you just talk a little bit about the AI on this chip? Because that's one question we get a lot is people are like, oh man, I saw that it has some of these AI capabilities. I was wondering if it was going to be Chromebook Plus. And now we know that it's not. I think if you could just clarify that for folks, I think that would be great.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of AI infused into this processor and the duet. Obviously, like I had mentioned, there's that dedicated NPU with that super resolution feature, and we hope in the future there'll be more functionality running on that resource. There's AI functionality built into the camera subsystem, which is doing all that low light noise reduction. It's doing face detection and applying auto exposure, auto focus, auto white balance, all the enhancements to make that picture look as best as possible. And then of course there's lots of AI that even Google has brought into the picture with things like the stylus. We didn't talk too much about that, but the stylus is super smooth on this device, and a lot of the reason behind that is AI algorithms that are running in the background, giving you all that amazing experience. So, for example, when you're using the stylus, your palm, you may have unwanted palm touches on the display. AI algorithms are running there to remove those and give you that really smooth experience. Google has done an amazing job with PDF search that's also running on the Kompanio 838. So basically taking a PDF document that may have graphics and text embedded into it, but allowing you to search in that document just like a regular text document. So these are all enhancements that are built into the Duet, so lots of AI going on. Now, to your question about Chromebook Plus, yeah, Chromebook Plus has a whole set of requirements. Some of them are processor related and some of them are device related. On the device side, you have to have certain memory configurations, certain display resolution to qualify. The Duet all-round didn't meet all the requirements, so it couldn't be classified as Chromebook Plus, but like I said, it has a lot of AI infused into this device. And I think you'll continue to see, at least from a MediaTek perspective, in our roadmap, you'll see a lot more Chromebook Plus devices, coming in the future. So that's definitely part of our vision, going forward.
So I think one thing that might be interesting for you to share a bit on here, and you kind of talked about it a little bit already, but the collaboration that you all have with Google and Lenovo. Obviously with Chrome OS, we know that you all are tied in with Google and are working with Google when you all are developing chips. But what's that partnership like between those parties? And yeah, just like what is that collaboration like?
Yeah, it's it requires a lot of tight alignment between the different partners to bring devices like the Duet that are so amazing in all respects, and launch them on time and make sure that they're successful in the market. So there's a lot of work going on there, both on the product side, getting requirements from Lenovo, understanding the market trends, and then working with Google to get all those features implemented and launched on time. So, it's incredible the amount of work that goes on between product teams, between MediaTek, Google, Lenovo, in Asia, in the US, in multiple locations. And then, of course, what we have really beefed up in the last couple of years is the go-to-market efforts to make sure that all these products are very well understood in the market, the value prop, the features, how they enhance people's lives, and that's a big function of my team, obviously. So a lot of work going on there in addition to the product side of things. The first Duet launched in 2020, and that was an amazing device in itself. So, we've had a really good platform to work with over time, and you can see how Lenovo has continued to improve that product. Better cameras, privacy shutter, the keyboard experience is so much better now. Powerful processors like the Kompanio 838. We see like the angled kickstand. That's really kind of a very intuitive kind of way of using the device, not just in landscape mode, but also portrait mode. Google has done so much on the AI features, and the Chrome OS platform in general, I would say, has been, and I know you folks are following it feature by feature, it's just getting richer and richer all the time. But features like super resolution that I talked about, the stylus palm rejection that is incredible in terms of AI algorithms that make that experience so smooth. The PDF OCR search that's allowing you to just work with PDF documents and just like you would with a regular text document. And then of course, on the MediaTek side, our contribution is all around the processor, the cameras and the NPU that we build in-house. And then of course, things that are maybe not talked about too much, but MediaTek is also providing all of the components that go around the main processor, the power management, the Wi-Fi connectivity is all built in-house. And it's just incredible to see all that coming together on the Duet. And while the device is still that thin, light, and extreme portability, so it has not exploded in size, it's still maintained its beautiful, sleek design, and it still has that 12 hours plus of battery life to get you throughout the day. So it's just incredible collaboration from all parties coming together. And we look forward to continuing work with Google and Lenovo and bring more of these exciting products to the market.
So Victor, one of the things that you mentioned just a moment ago are some of these different segments that MediaTek is in. This device in particular, the new Duet, has a separate SKU for education that has a more rugged case and a separate pen holder, or a different pen holder rather. So can you talk a little bit about some of the successes that you all are seeing in both the consumer and education markets?
Yes. We're super excited about the Lenovo Duet coming in the ruggedized flavor. So we think that's going to be awesome for especially some of the younger kids that will likely take the device through some more challenging experiences. But overall, Joe, we're seeing great adoption of MediaTek Kompanio products in both consumer and education segments. And I think it's a testament of the great products that our OEM partners are developing with Kompanio technology, including, of course, all the go-to-market efforts that we're putting together to bring that awareness to the market and make them successful. So if you look at the consumer segment, for example, we have the Asus CM14. That is a clamshell convertible device that's done very well in retail channels. There's the Asus CM30, which is another detachable device that's also done really well. The Lenovo Slim 3, which I'm sure you folks are familiar with, has been a #1 seller at many retailers, including Best Buy. If you look at Best Buy, actually, you'll see, I think, something like over 1,200 reviews, 4.6 stars. And a lot of that is just about the value that these products bring. Just great build quality, great display on the Slim 3, the performance that you need to get your work done, and never having to worry about charging. Just incredible battery life on these devices. I think 13, 14, 15 plus hours of battery life. So I think a lot of value being recognized in the market and the consumer space. And education is one where we're putting a lot of effort. Obviously, Chromebooks have resonated very well in the education segment. And we put our focus there too, and a lot of investment around events. So we get in front of the school district IT decision makers at the major events like BET, will be in London in January next year, showcasing our technology. We'll be at FETC here in the US, which is another big show. And then in Japan, that's also taking off really well with Chromebooks. We'll be at a major event there. So, a lot of focus on the events, but also getting in the online channels where, again, schools get a lot of their IT information to empower them. Education Week, for example, is a channel that we leverage quite a bit, and you'll see a lot of MediaTek information being communicated there. We work with our reseller partners, the CDWs of the world, just to, again, make sure that they are fully comfortable with the MediaTek value prop. And we're starting to see a lot of success, with specific devices like Lenovo's 100E and 300E, their Gen 4, has been so well received in the market. Acer and Asus have incredible devices, again, targeting the kind of K-12 segment. HP just launched their Fortis device in Japan, actually, just a few weeks ago, and we're looking to bring that to more regions. Just overall, I think schools are starting to be a lot more comfortable with MediaTek Kompanio, and they're seeing the benefit, that stress-free experience that both students and teachers need to focus on the learning and teaching element and not having to fight with technology throughout the day.
The last thing here I wanted to wrap up with is just talking about the Kompanio lineup and where it's heading. It was a few years ago at the executive summit where we first heard about the Kompanio branding, and we love it, and we're excited for the future. So what does that look like? What's next for the Kompanio series?
Yeah, I mentioned kind of our number one position, being number one kind of in the ARM-based computing space in the Chromebook program, and we'll definitely look to maintain that position and also increase our market share over time. So from a market perspective, those are some of the areas that we want to continue focusing on, and we do see this kind of Chromebooks as being that constant companion, as they become more powerful, as they have, to the point where we actually need their functionality throughout the day. That resonates very much with the Kompanio brand, which is that always with you computing. So we definitely see that strong need for devices to be with you, and I think our products are very kind of well aligned with that. Of course, we see more demand for AI. We're seeing that today with functions like background blur and text summarization and, meeting notes. You get on a meet call and you get your action items and your summary there. These are just very, very, very useful features that are going to increase productivity. And we also see a trend where, some of those functions are going to need to run on the edge. Today you'll see AI functions running on cloud. There'll be some edge needs, but over time we do see those increasing. And there'll be functions that require low latency, privacy is important, and then in some cases even offline mode, just being able to run those functions completely when you're not even connected to the internet. So these are areas that we see the market going in, and where we do see ourselves being well positioned. If you think about the Dimensity 9400 that powers our flagship smartphone chipsets, that just launched a couple of weeks ago, actually, with a very powerful NPU. So the technology that is in-house to be able to run that kind of edge AI workloads. And then the other area that we see being critical is this performance per watt. And performance per watt, for me, I like to think of it as, I'm getting my work done in a very performant way, but what was the impact to the battery while I did my function? And we know today there are systems out there that are just very bad in that department, to the point where consumers will feel stressed throughout the day. They will feel they have to be confined to a specific location, tethered to an AC outlet. And our vision is very different to that, where you have that extreme portability. And if you look at the Duet, actually, it's got a 29 watt hour battery, but still giving you 12 hours of battery life, right? So it's a very impressive metric there. And we're seeing that resonate very much, again, in the different markets, in consumer, in education. So I think, thinking of AI, thinking of that whole performance per watt advantage that MediaTek has, I think we're very well positioned in the coming years to meet the needs of the market. And I know, Joe, that you folks at Chromebooks are always looking at the future to see what's coming. I can't talk a lot about this, but I can tell you that we are brewing something very special in the premium space. High performance processor with advanced edge generative AI capabilities that we are confident that you folks will love, and we hope that it will resonate very well in the market too. So we'll share more with you on that, as it becomes available. But I wanted to just share with you that tidbit in the meantime.
I love it. A little sneak peek at the end. That's great. Yeah, we love what you all are doing. We've been big fans of MediaTek over the years, and excited for the future and for new devices that are thin and light, great battery life, but also performant and allow you to get all your stuff done with AI on top of it. So it's an exciting future, and we can't wait to see what you all have cooking for this next version. But Victor, thanks so much for taking some time today. This has been great, and we'll definitely catch up. Hopefully sooner rather than later when we get maybe another announcement.
Yeah, thank you, Joe.